Hey everyone, welcome to Defiance Daily. I'm Maritza Giorgio, host of the Grounded podcast with former Senator John Tester, in for Miles Taylor today. And it's Friday, which means we have the MAGA losses of the week. We're going to have some fun there. But before we get to that, I want to bring in Defiance co-founder Xander Schultz. We're going to talk about some headlines. First, how you doing, Xander?
It's good. We should be playing that. What was that atrocious song, Rachel Black? Was it It's Friday? Friday. Do you remember that?
I do.
Like for like a blip. Yeah. Not for too long, because I think you have a seizure if you listen to that for too long. But, I'm feeling good. Friday's always a fun day.
It is always a fun day. I was going to say something to you, and I completely lost my train of thought, which must mean it's Friday, and we're ready for the weekend.
Yeah, exactly. That's actually par for the course on Friday. So
yeah, okay,
Mercedes got our back. Mercedes got our back.
I know. You had coffee this morning, but you were solo. I jumped on for a little bit. Did you?
I soloed it.
You could call me. I'll jump on for coffee anytime.
I would love that. Because my you know how this goes. You know what? Me and you are both like the neglected, not famous half of our shows. Yeah. So we have more time and are more available than our partners. We can show up for each other. We can show up.
That's right. We can show up just call me at the last minute. No big deal. Okay, so we do have some fun to get to, folks, because it is Friday. But we really do need to talk about some serious headlines. And Xander, the first one might not surprise you, but one of MAGA's key talking points in their push for mass deportation has just been completely debunked by a news outlet.
Just one? I feel like all of them have been debunked, but all right.
Yeah, I mean, if you like fact checking, that is true. A lot have been debunked, but not everybody loves the fact checking so much. But okay, literally everyone watching right now probably saw this coming. But for more than a year, Donald Trump and his administration have insisted that they are cracking down on healthcare fraud, right? This is a big thing. We've heard the same message from not only the president, but his vice president, from Stephen Miller, from Dr. Oz. They keep telling Americans that undocumented immigrants are the problem, not just with healthcare fraud, by the way. They're saying they're the problem for everything, but specifically on healthcare, they're saying that they're draining the healthcare system, committing widespread Medicaid fraud. But according to The Intercept, when you look at the Trump administration's very own Inspector General report from the Department of Health and Human Services, it's just simply not where the biggest fraud is happening.
Shout out The Intercept. Great publication. So what they say, who's the culprit?
Okay, so according to the IG, the Inspector General, the overwhelming majority of the biggest healthcare fraud cases actually involve, you're going to be shocked, corporations and executives. We are talking about Medicare fraud schemes, insurance fraud, executives actually billing taxpayers for medically unnecessary procedures. Wonder what those could be. One scheme alone involved more than 10 billion with a B in fraudulent Medicare claims. Another exploited unhoused Americans to generate fake medical billing. And according to The Intercept, undocumented immigrants are not even mentioned in this report as a major source of healthcare fraud.
I feel like we're stuck in the Scooby-Doo episode where it's like, we're like, who's the monster? And it's always the same asshole every time. You're like, oh, it's the major corporations again, and their greed and their relentless extraction of our resources, funneling everything towards them. No way. And it's scapegoating women, Black people, and immigrants again. It's not them every time when you lift up the mask. Okay.
Yeah, so The Intercept actually points out something that makes this even harder to ignore here. So while the administration is campaigning on all of this, cracking down on fraud, cracking down on illegal immigration, Trump has actually pardoned people actually convicted of massive healthcare fraud. One of them is named Lawrence Duran, a healthcare executive who was serving a 50-year sentence for orchestrating a $205 million Medicare fraud scheme. And according to an analysis cited in this story, Trump's pardons have erased nearly $2 billion in
Oh my
taxpayer
goodness.
recovery, restitution, folks, tied to Medicare fraud, tax fraud, and other financial crimes. $2 billion that could have gone back into the system and, I don't know, fed kids, paid for healthcare, housed people. I mean,
You know,
Xander, all the
you know,
stuff you could do with that
all
money.
the social safety net things. Nah, who needs it? Let's go blow up another bomb. Um, I wonder if anyone has pardoned, I don't know if anyone's tracking this, more people who have pled guilty. It's not that like presidents haven't pardoned people before, but usually, usually it's because of some wrongful conviction or an unnecessary sentence. Trump has pardoned an incredible amount of people. I remember the crypto billionaire CZ
Yeah, yeah.
who had pled guilty. A lot of the J6ers that have pled guilty. It's kind of a unique, I think it's a unique, unique part of how he pardons folks. And again, kind of validating. Once again, this is a grift and a slow motion coup. That is what we are dealing with. This is the
Well,
grifting part of it.
and like I'll say, like not all guilty pleas are equal, right? Like sometimes they're part of plea deals,
Yeah,
and
sometimes they're
it's to get a
coerced. Totally.
and sometimes it's to get a lesser sentence, and there's maneuvering there. That's a great question though for Liz Oyer. We should have our buddy Liz Oyer on because as the former DOJ pardon attorney, I bet she would have some thoughts about that.
Right,
But
right, right.
really, yesterday we got to this other story that also shows who this administration is really going after, who they're scrutinizing. Again, really not a big shocker here, but according to Common Dreams, the Trump administration is now defending a policy in federal court that says even people with terminal illnesses don't automatically qualify for an exemption from Medicaid work requirements.
Mm,
So you're
mm.
dying and sorry.
Well, that was the tragedy about the big beautiful bill. God, I gotta call it something else. Is
Tester
not only
calls it the big bullshit bill. I'll
the
just say
big
that.
bullshit. God, thank you, John Tester. That's a great name for it. The big bullshit bill. The challenge was is one, it like cut these programs like crazy, but two, it put the programs it left in place behind these like giant mountainous qualifications, including this like requirement to work, which is so absurd when you think about a lot of these programs are in place when people are having a hard time finding work and don't have the resources in that moment. And so there's so much cruelty embedded into that bill. And this is one of the most audacious ways. But yeah, terminally ill patients working seems hard most of the time, at least for terminally ill people I've been around.
And having to prove if they can't work, prove and spend the time and the energy proving that they're too sick to work. That's what this lawsuit is about. And the law exempts people who are medically frail or who have serious medical conditions, but the administration adopted a much narrower interpretation here. According to the lawsuit, even patients with advanced cancer, HIV, AIDS, Parkinson's disease, or other terminal illnesses have to demonstrate that their condition substantially limits their ability to work before they qualify for an exemption. Medical groups argue that means more paperwork, more doctor's visits, more administrative hurdles for people who are already fighting life-threatening diseases. All add more money, more stress. And, also the fact is when people are dying, they should be spending time with their loved ones and doing all the things that need to be done before they leave this earth. They shouldn't have to be worrying about this.
Yeah. So, treating the sick as there's a very useful framework I constantly think about, which is like, what are the best policies? Well, what would we do if we were living in a group of 50? And how absurd would these things be if we were in a group of 50?
Oh, I like that
making
exercise. That's
sick
good.
grandma go pick berries, while she's like on her deathbed, instead of being like, oh, we'll go out, we'll get your share of the berries today, is so absurdly cruel. And I think like that framework oftentimes helps me understand sensical or nonsensical policies. It actually like that framing sometimes helps me understand the right when they have this huge lens towards making sure everyone participates. In a group of 50, you would also want like at least the healthy people to be participating. But for anyone that is thinking about any sort of policy, that always kind of clarifies things for me on how absurd and cruel or thoughtful it is.
Yeah, absolutely. And I really like that exercise. That's a really great exercise because it really points out the absolute absurdity of what's being asked here of people. So
Get off
if
your ass,
you're
grandma. Get out there. Go get that
right,
wildebeest.
yeah, go to the
Stop
wildebeest.
whining. Stop whining about that
Yeah.
cancer. Get
Yeah,
out
just
there.
pull yourself
Ridiculous.
up by your bootstraps and take care of the rest of us. So if your goal, I'm just thinking out loud here. If your goal as an administration is to stop healthcare fraud, your own inspector general just gave you a roadmap. And according to The Intercept, that roadmap points overwhelmingly to corporate fraud. Instead, though, the administration continues to blame immigrants while defending policies that make terminally ill Americans prove they are sick enough to keep the healthcare they've already earned. And I will also point out, I think we know what this administration thinks of inspectors general because they fired a ton of them at the very beginning of this administration.
Right. Man, I just got off like an hour phone call with Workers Circle. If you remember Defiance, that we teamed with them to do the vigils protesting the ICE prisons, and we talked about the need to turn this movement into an anti-corruption movement. We've got to have a positive vision for where we're going on top of the, stop these guys. And there's such a layup there. There's such a layup there because it happens. So many of our problems do happen to bleed up to this, bleed up to this issue of corruption and the capture of our political institutions and our failure to hold them, not only hold them accountable, just have basic antitrust laws in place, do not partner with them in their corruption and enrich themselves, the politicians enriching themselves within this corruption.
And to take away the incentives to do it, right? Like there's no
make it impossible. Exactly. We need to make it impossible to be corrupt in this country. Go ahead.
Or at least troublesome, right? At least like have an impact, a negative impact on your life. I think that's a really good point. Okay, so I think we are going to move on to our MAGA losses of the week. We have a special guest too joining us, Sander.
All right.
Do you know who this is?
I don't.
Have you read ahead? You don't?
You're assuming I prepare for work. It's a bad assumption. I don't. Who we got?
Well, we have our good friend, someone who just left me in the state of Montana to go back to the East Coast, the incredible Ellie Leonard.
Ellie!
Hey, Ellie.
What's going on? This is such a good surprise. What's happening, Ellie?
Xander and I were I'm shopping for groceries in Missoula, and Xander and I are talking in the checkout stand. So I was on the phone with you, and then I went to go see you. So yeah, it's good to be back.
I failed. You want to talk about an embarrassing moment? I failed. I said, Ellie, let's go huckleberry picking. And I went to my spot. Like I just found out, Ellie, today there are like no huckleberries, so it wasn't just me. I'm trying to redeem myself.
But we did figure out what your car can do, though. I mean, in those puddles, there were puddles the size of like a living room in these trails, and we're like, your car can get through that. Let's try. And it starts beeping, and the lights are coming on, and
nice.
Yeah, we went for it. We went for it. Xander, I'm gonna let you take the first MAGA loss. Does that sound good?
All right. Let me let me jump in there.
Let me do it.
I can do it. All right. First MAGA loss of the week. We're headed back to the murky waters of Trump's reflecting pool project. You'll remember this is the felon. This should be like his logo. It's the green mossy reflecting pool. You'll remember this is the felony case Jeanine Pirro rolled out against former Olympian David Hearn, accusing him of vandalizing the Lincoln Memorial reflecting pool. Well, that case just hit a pretty major snag. Hearn's attorney, friend of the program, Norm Eisen, what a hero Norm is. He's in every story. He's now asking a judge to release the full grand jury record after uncovering what he describes as serious irregularities in the government's case. WUSA 9 explains.
Questions are being raised in the case of a former Olympian accused of damaging the Lincoln Memorial reflecting pool. David Hearn of Bethesda is facing felony charges in the case, but his attorneys say a National Park Service official testified the pool was already severely damaged before Hearn allegedly touched it and could not determine how much damage, if any, that he caused. Hearn has pleaded not guilty. His trial is set for September 28th.
Well, Ellie, what do you think?
Wow.
was this foreseeable?
No, I mean, I think it's great that the national park brought this, but like when you look back at videos and pictures of the reflecting pool, like it's not uncommon for people to be boating and playing and so what I gathered from this is that they had already determined that there was up to $15,000 worth of damage in the reflecting pool before he ever got in there with his canoe, and that everything in the pool needed replacing.
He wasn't in there with a canoe though.
Or what was he in there? What was he in there? Sorry.
Dang,
misinformation.
But I love the visual. I love the visual of him in a
canoe. Ellie's been reading the Trump administration's press release. He's like in a
Okay. Anyway, but like the joints need replacing. It's already damaged. It was leaking 1 million gallons of water a week prior to it's like they painted over it, but it's kind of like the lipstick on a pig. Not to call the reflecting pool thing. It's very beautiful. It's very important, but like it needed a lot of work and a lot of upkeep. And so to come in there and say that this poor one guy is causing all these millions of dollars of damage to this pool that is already in disrepair is silly, but it's also kind of the idea of them arresting people for sticking their hands in the water just during this time when all the paint that they had just put on is now peeling off. So it's a little
and to say that like it was a felony thing, I think he was riding his bike and he stopped because it was, this was the talk of the town, like all of it. Yeah, but I love the idea that he was in his
I swear to God, I did my homework.
No, I know, but that was hilarious.
Ellie's our investigative journalist on the team.
Yeah. No,
this is just water. Don't worry about it.
I love it, but I do want to say, like, yeah, you're so right, Ellie. They needed to do work on this, and it had issues, but like they focused on the wrong things. And you paint that reflecting pool dark blue, American flag blue. That is going to breed more algae because it heats up the surface and it like heats the water more. And then they took out those, I think they're called like debubblers or something that actually helped process the algae because they were unsightly. Nano bubblers. Thank you, Xander. Yeah. And then also, oh shoot, we have all this algae. We're going to pour a ton of like hydrogen peroxide in. I'm sure that has nothing to do with any of the paint peeling up. And my co-host Senator Tester thinks that they also didn't prep the pool for the paint correctly. There are all kinds of things, but like I seriously cannot think of a story and him picking up just a piece of paint, right? Because people just rode by, drove by, walked by, canoed by because they wanted to see the damage. And like I went by when I was there last week, they have it all fenced off now. But he's like, oh my gosh, look at this, and took a picture. And all of a sudden he's being charged with a felony. And I just keep thinking, and I hate to make people think that I'm a criminal, but I keep thinking back to when I was at like my childhood rec center and the old outdated pool had all the tiles peeling off. And it was a game for me and the kids, like other friends, go down and see how many tiles we could collect off the bottom. Yeah. Like in this scenario,
to jail now. I can't.
We'd be charged with a felony. Yeah. All right. Yeah. That's my rant. Xander.
All right. I would say one last thing. Maritza, this like reminds me of our story yesterday where we found out they were asking ChatGPT what to do. It's like you can tell this is a series of like what color will be the sweetest color to paint the reflecting pool. Oh no, it's all messed up. What should we do? Pour hydrogen peroxide in it. I think this is like a ChatGPT run government. Okay, so there's one detail in the court filings that WUSA 9 didn't get into. Not only did the National Park Service officially testify that the reflecting pool already had significant pre-existing damage, damage, including leaks in the torn liner. They also testified that the exact same repairs would have been necessary even if David Heard had never come in contact with the pool, even if he never visited it. So it seems like this case is dead in the water. Shout out Mercedes for the pun. Well done.
Well, but also very seriously, you guys know how I feel about wildlife and birds. Literally dead in the water are birds that have like used this as their habitat for, forever. So literally animals dying because of I don't know, their incompetence, I guess.
All right. Well, we've beat this story to death. You want to get us the next one, Maritza?
I kind of love the toxic sludge pond.
I know,
story.
it's very fun.
Okay, so I want to test your knowledge on something, both of you. Xander, do you know what a pick me girl is?
I'm pretty much unaware of what any catchphrase is after like 2004. I think that's when I tapped out of culture, so I don't know. I don't know.
Ellie, you know what it is?
Yeah. So a pick-me girl is a girl or a woman who tries to appeal to men by saying she's not like any of the other girls. Like, I like video games and football. I don't like to wear makeup. I like to run really fast and compete with everybody. And they basically mold themselves to be appealing to a man by saying they're like none of their other friends. They're like none of the other girls in the bar. They are unique in every way and appeal to men by being just like them, but also, pretty, I guess. I don't know. Something like that.
Yeah, like a unicorn. Like I'm so unique and different, and I don't have any of my own wants or needs. I'm just going to do everything you want me to do. So nobody wants to be a pick me girl, right? That's why when you see it, it's kind of hard to watch, especially if it's someone you already kind of struggle with. Like maybe you're not fully on board with liking them or being on their team. So let's talk right now about Caroline Levitt. This week, her makeup artist posted what was supposed to be, we think, like a behind the scenes glimpse of the real Caroline, kind of a candid picture into who she is. Instead, we got something else. Let's look.
Your question.
Okay, my question is, what is something about you that nobody knows, other than the people that are close to you?
I don't know.
Are you a funny person or are you a boring person?
I don't think people realize that I am silly. I'm funny, I think.
Funny now.
Scale of 1 to 10.
Well, because when I'm out at the podium, I'm like getting after it. But I'm not like that in real life. So, you just have to get to know me to know the real me.
She's actually a total dork.
Ew.
That's so cringe.
Yeah, I don't like it. You're right. I don't like it, and I didn't like it more. Yeah, you're right. I don't like it.
I mean, I can't talk. Like when I do TV, I do put hair curlers in before I go out sometimes.
It was
so it was more than that, though, right, Ellie? Okay, so if Caroline's team spent a little too much time worrying about image here, the State Department's team clearly didn't spend enough time checking what was on the screen. So Xander, take it away.
Okay. I don't know where to start with this one besides to ask, why must Rubio continuously disappoint us? I say that because this week's Rubio State Department was presenting at the International AIDS Conference in Brazil. Oh no, I don't even know. Those are two, like, you don't want that sentence ever constructed. Okay. During the presentation, they put up this map of Africa. Go ahead and throw it up.
If we can. Dude, I think you might have to do it because.
Oh, I'm on it. We have Mercedes is dealing with internet issues, so let me see.
She is. Here it is. I think. Wait.
Where is it? Oh, this is a real cliffhanger. I see it. Cool.
I don't see it in our media here.
Mercedes is coming back online.
She's coming back in. Oh, you guys.
This is a cliffhanger. Marco Rubio and the AIDS conference is a nightmare combo of a sentence.
She's looking for it. Hold on. All right, we can just talk about it, and if we get it up. So here's the thing: they put up a map.
Oh no, not that one. That's worse.
Caroline.
Don't do that.
Oh, there it is. Okay.
Oh, we get it. Okay.
Here's this map. What's wrong with this picture, folks?
I gotta zoom in. Let's see what we got. Let's see. That's not where the Ivory Coast is.
Yeah. Actually,
tell me. None of this actually makes sense. Go ahead. Go ahead.
No. Right. I mean, do you want to take it away, Xander? You want me to do it?
Go ahead. Hit it.
Okay. I remember having to take a test in 8th grade geography, like literally labeling all the countries. I don't know if I could do it again. I know I couldn't today without studying, but I would think that if you're going to go represent the United States and the State Department to talk about AIDS, that maybe you should know where the countries in Africa are, or have somebody fact check them.
I don't think any are where they're supposed to be. They're like all over the place. Mozambique's
in that
not where it's supposed to be.
map, every single country, every single one is wrong.
They are all wrong.
A coastal country is usually on the coast.
Yeah. So Nigeria drifted into the Sahara Desert. So suddenly Nigeria is landlocked. Mozambique relocated to the Horn of Africa. Ivory Coast just not near a coast at all.
On the coast.
One country appeared with no name at all. Cameroon, listed in the legend, never actually appeared on the map. Like, come on, guys.
They've always been bad at this. Remember when Trump drew the hurricane graph?
That's exactly what I was thinking with the Sharpie. Yes.
They've always been really bad at graphics and maps. We also at one point reported on something, I think it was Hegseth was doing a presentation, and like they didn't make their content in like matte. They made it glossy, and so it was reflecting off. Do you guys remember this? The light was reflecting off, and no one could see what he was talking about. It was it's not their strong suit. They don't have many strong suits, but this particular one is clearly not one of their strong suits.
And call me a stickler, but I just really care about getting things right. Like if I see a misspelling even on the news or an article, I was like, no, how did you not get this right? I mean, this stuff, like, we should look smarter than this. We should look smarter.
Also, didn't they leave the graphic for the AI, the source that they used? Didn't they leave the AI marker?
Oh, that's so funny.
I read. I could be wrong.
No, let's get into this because yes, they left a tell here on the display. Ellie, you got it. Reuters reported that one of these slides even contained an open AI watermark. So they didn't, like, not only did they use AI for their presentation, I know a lot of people do, but they didn't bother to fact check it because we know AI can what's known as hallucinate, right? Like fill in the blanks incorrectly. And there's a guy named Matt Pettit who focuses on geopolitics and AI at the Atlantic Council. He called the map beyond embarrassing. Yeah, I agree. Like,
you gotta give credit where credit's due. It's one step up from calling them all shithole countries. They might be improving. Just simply mislabeling them now.
Yeah, I bet they got the Gulf of Mexico right, though, right?
Yeah.
Sorry, Gulf of America. Okay, so Xander, let's go over the next one. It takes us back to something we covered a bit yesterday. This week, I still can't believe the story. Republicans thought that releasing Anthony Fauci's diaries was really going to finally get him. They were going to expose him. Like, this is what we were talking about this before the show, Xander, like secondhand embarrassment. Like, I wouldn't want anybody reading, my personal thoughts like that. That's what a diary's for. Anyway, the recent hearing on Wednesday had MAGA up in arms because of all the times that Dr. Fauci pleaded the fifth. Now that fever is dying down a little bit, more people are actually diving into what the diary said and finding some pretty interesting details. Ones that say a lot more about the Trump administration than Fauci, because one of the more colorful moments is an entry from November 2021, when President Obama gave him a call. And in that call, Obama offered his support for Dr. Fauci as he was facing a relentless attacks. You remember that. And Fauci's diary says that Obama called Donald Trump Jr. a fucking moron, and then apologized for swearing, and then described Donald Trump as a hopeless idiot and a pathological liar.
I like that Obama can't even be cruel privately. He like immediately apologizes and backtracks.
So sorry.
It's like everything everyone's saying in every living room. Obama's been relentlessly attacked by the guy and immediately apologizes and calls him a fucking moron. Yeah.
what I thought about first I thought, like, what are you doing putting your diary on a computer? Like, that's a silly move, Mr. I know. But whatever. I'm not going to judge it for that. But what I thought when I was reading through these was like, man, when we were all going through it in 2020 and 2021, it would have been so healing to read these diary entries from Dr. Fauci back then and just be like, God damn it, Trump is a fucking idiot. Like, that would have been just so liberating for everyone who is just like upset and we're watching him on TV saying to pour bleach into your veins and just like, you know, wanting Fauci to just start screaming in the background. And this would have just been so liberating to read what Obama thought, what Fauci thought, but also like having a little bit of a heart for a guy, because in it he waffles a little bit about what to do, right? When we were mid-pandemic, we didn't know if this was like a surface level disease. I remember all the parks in Missoula were all roped off. We couldn't go outside. We didn't know that it was airborne. And so they're getting mad at him for saying like, oh, one thing here and one thing here. But you have to remember, we were dealing with a brand new disease that we didn't know what the cause was. We didn't know where it came from. And so he's sort of like maneuvering as a scientist on how do we react to these things? How do we respond to these things? And he does change his mind in various, you know, places in these diaries. And people are just wanting him to be like, one answer, this is the right way, you know, you were wrong, whatever. But it's like, no, we all had to sort of maneuver as we figured out what this disease was, how to respond to it, how to get a vaccine. And so I think, I mean, I feel for the guy because it's his diary, right? It's his personal thoughts in the middle of a pandemic that he is supposed to be in charge of. And there's a section on it where he talks about what it's like to become like this public figure and almost like a celebrity and on the news every day. And I would love to read his thoughts on that, because I don't imagine he was very excited about that. I imagine he was like struggling with the exposure of all that. But yeah.
It was interesting. Go ahead, Xander.
It's reminiscent of like other things I've read on wartime generals. When you know, when like, I think there's this diary, I think it was either the lead general from England or Germany, which I know makes a big difference, in the beginning of World War I. And the guy basically starts having panic attacks and then becomes an alcoholic within a month because they're experiencing losses that they've never experienced before in war as they confront machine guns and artillery for the first time ever. And it's like a descent into madness. And you know, that was the stakes that Fauci was facing too. I lived in New York City, you know, when this thing got started. And so we were losing, I think we had more cases and more deaths than China within like 2 weeks. We had to, my family had to move out of there within the first 2 weeks and kind of flee the scene because of how serious it was. But like, you know, he was dealing with similarly like scary statistics and scary projections. And so, you know, there's a lot of kind of powerful looking beat your chest men that have folded in those situations in the past, and then there's a large record to prove it, and he seems like he handled it pretty fucking well.
And he was 80 also, like 79, 80 years old, and he had led us through so many other crises. And again, Ellie, you make a great point, and I said this yesterday, it was called the novel coronavirus. It was brand new. We learned things all the time, and we're still learning things about it. And we're still going to learn things when we look at long COVID and other ramifications of what that did to us as a society. So I you know, it really showed a scientist leaning on the science and the evidence and testing to change with what the evidence showed. So we love Obama cursing. I mean, there's something about Obama cursing that's really fun. But that really wasn't one of the parts of these diaries that got the most attention. And some people are in the chat, I see, talking about this, because that award really goes to the Millers. Because before Stephen and Katie Miller were demanding that Anthony Fauci be prosecuted, they were relying on him, like so many of us were, for guidance here. Because according to Fauci's diary, when Katie Miller contracted COVID-19 while she was 10 weeks pregnant, Dr. Fauci called her multiple times a day to check on her and calm her anxiety. And later, after the Miller's newborn suffered a medical emergency, Dr. Fauci called the child's doctor himself to discuss the baby's care. In another diary entry, Fauci simply wrote, "Am on phone frequently with Katie and Stephen." Fast forward to today. Katie Miller says Fauci cared more about virtue signaling than science. And she and Stephen have become some of the loudest critics here. If these diaries were supposed to expose Anthony Fauci, Ellie, I think they're doing a pretty good job of exposing everyone who really depended on him behind the scenes when we were all scared collectively.
I mean, that says a lot about their character, that somebody, I mean, you know, you had this guy who literally, he has a team of people working with him, but he has the nation's health and survival on him, like on his shoulders. And yet he has this guy in front of him, the president of the United States, is just basically blocking all of the things that he's telling him to do, or that he's being told he has to say things a certain way if he's going to keep his job. And I would imagine that he feels like if he loses his job in the middle of this, more people are going to die. So he's trying to, you know, balance if he's going to keep his job, do what Trump says, or leave and let Trump completely take over. And I always, throughout that whole thing, I felt so bad for him and the amount of pressure he faced and the amount of pushback he faced. And I'm sure the amount of death threats he faced in the middle of trying to keep this nation alive. And that idea, and it's, you know, it's emphasized with Katie and Stephen Miller, the idea of protecting people who hate you and who are fighting against you and would rather see you in prison. And yet you still feed them, clothe them, keep them safe. You know, I think that shows so much integrity.
What's it like? What I would love to ask all of these people who attacked Dr. Fauci, like, what do you think's in it for him? What did he gain by telling us all to take these precautions to protect ourselves and our families? Like, what big thing did he gain from this? What's in it for him? Like, he's living a life now where he's under constant public scrutiny. He can't go for a walk with his wife without photographers being out there capturing it. I mean, tell me what this guy had to gain by doing what they're accusing him of.
Mm-hmm. I mean, he's not somebody who's planning on running for anything else. He's not somebody who's, you know, starting lawsuits where he's trying to get multi-million-dollar settlements. He's just literally trying to do his job because it's, you know, it's his passion and it's what he cares about. And
he's 85 years old.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
He's 85 years old. All right.
Yeah.
Xander, are you taking us into the Soulmate Awards?
Let's do it. Let's go to the Soulmate Awards. It's Friday. You know it. You love it. The only award ceremony out there that is determined to find the best, most soulful, most degrading Trump bootlicker. And this week, we have a lot of fun things to chat about. Let's meet our candidates. When we do, it'll be up to you to choose the winner. Go to soulmate.vote. Let me put this in the chat. Soulmate.vote for you to enter who you think should be the biggest bootlicker of the week. We have great candidates. I was saying earlier before the show, I think we got the best name ID out of all three candidates. So
he's doing analysis, he's running analytics on all of the past nominees and like where they fall. And, you know, if you have to be like a certain height, like being president, Xander, like,
it's hard to rise up the ranks as top bootlicker, you know, unless you have a certain reputation already established, we've learned. But you want to start us off with our first nominee, Maritza?
You got it. Okay. First one, starting off strong. Still acting. He's not officially Attorney General because he's still acting Attorney General Todd Blanche, no stranger here to the Soulmate Awards. As many of you know, he was nominated for Attorney General without the acting label and soon to be voted upon by the Senate Judiciary Committee in the coming days. But that nomination came to a screeching halt after two Senate members, Senators Cornyn and Tillis, had a pretty simple ask here. They said, well, we'll vote on you, but only if you give us written confirmation that you will kill President Trump's $1.776 billion slush fund and restrict his attempt to gain tax immunity through the IRS lawsuit. Two things that are like, you know, crazy illegal and super easy to just say, yeah, sure, you got it. Let's do it. I will agree to that. Apparently, it's not that easy if you are Todd Blanche, because Todd Blanche has refused to confirm that he would kill those efforts and go against the president's wishes, effectively blowing up his own nomination and screwing any chance he had at winning just so that Trump can have his little corruption safety blanket. So for that, we would like to welcome Todd /Fund Blanche as our first nominee. And I will say that the upshot here is that even though they pulled their support, he is still acting AG.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I don't know. I think we're asking too much of him to not give $2 billion to terrorists. It's really not reasonable. Really an unreasonable demand by the senators. For our second nominee, we are welcoming to the stage Fox News host Sean Hannity. And as if being a host of Fox News doesn't warrant enough of a nomination, true story, they should just be a recurring nominee, as is. This week, during the somber and heartfelt funeral of Lindsey Graham, he really earned his spot. In his speech, Sean somehow found a way to gain some brownie points with the president. Let's take a look.
Lindsey, Mr. President, I would argue in my mind, probably has a heavenly version of Mar-a-Lago.
Oh my gosh.
It may even be a little bigger. He may have a little more gold in the Oval Office in his mansion in heaven. And I wouldn't be surprised if he added one big, beautiful ballroom and an arch somewhere on the property. Because he would want to obviously duplicate his dearest friend in life, you, Mr. President.
That was so. I hadn't seen that. I watched that for the first time with you guys. I had not seen that. That is cringy and like right on up there. You know what I mean? Like,
it might be
right.
What do you mean, Ellie? I don't know.
We might have to introduce a new award. Bootlicking might be like too much, not strong enough metaphor for Sean there.
That was uncomfortably sad.
You know, Sean, they say not to speak ill of the dead, so maybe we should wish Lindsey into spending eternity surrounded by all of Trump's obnoxious ideas that don't sound too heavenly to me. In fact, I think they actually have another name for that.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
I'm uncomfortable.
Can you imagine all the gold leaf? Welcome to heaven. It's gold leaf.
Like the idea that is heaven, that is not a like place of abundance and connection with other people.
Can you imagine going to heaven and that's what it was? You'd be like,
it's just Mar-a-Lago everywhere. It would be impossible to convince me. Honestly, it would be impossible to convince me I was in heaven. I'd just be going over my life endlessly and be like, what did I do?
Where did I go wrong?
Where did it happen that I deserve in this freaking place? All right. So finally, for using a man's funeral to boost the president's ego, we would like to welcome Sean. Heaven is where Trump is. Hannity. That's our second nominee.
Yeah, definitely. Didn't Trump say like recently he's not sure if he's going to heaven? I think he did say that. Like,
he didn't think.
When
he
I say
Mar-a-Lago,
maybe.
So.
yeah, but if it's Mar-a-Lago, he's already there, I guess. Okay, our final nominee of the night. I say night. It's for me. It's in the afternoon, but for night on the East Coast. Final nominee of the night. Another regular in this competition. Secretary of Defense. I'm not going to say Secretary of War. Secretary of Defense, Pete Hegseth. He, during a cabinet meeting at the Camp David presidential retreat today, which had an agenda of topics like, Iran, border security, the economy, Pete Hegseth had his own topic in mind, and that was to talk about how great and courageous Trump has been during this war with Iran. And before we play the clip, I want you to take a close look at Trump's riveting reaction to all of this bootlicking. Let's watch.
The core of what keep us safe. But in order to do that, you have to have a leader that's willing to put him in a position to do it. And that's my takeaway, Mr. President, is to bomb the Houthis and say we will maintain freedom of navigation. I wonder why they're not involved in this conflict, the Houthis. They're a proxy of Iran because they felt the weight of American power for 45 days. And you had the courage to do that. The courage to do Midnight Hammer, include the 12-day war by obliterating their nuclear sites. Something other presidents had the option on their table to do, but they never pulled the trigger because of the complications, because of the challenges, because of the risk. Courage to take on the cartels and drugs, drug boats, and now forming the ACCC, the America's Counter Cartel Coalition, with all those friendly governments that Marco talked about. We want to be shoulder to shoulder, not just with America.
This is off topic, but does he do his own makeup? Like, there's no way
he looks like he has liver
artist...
problems. Doesn't he look like he has liver failure? Like every time I look
at him,
he
does do his own makeup. There's no way, unless either that or his makeup artist hates him. Like no makeup artist.
It can't even be. It'd be an emo. There's no human makeup artist that would choose these.
He's got like the '90s shelf. Remember where the foundation would just like cut off at the cheekbone?
Yeah. Next time somebody is saying something like on my birthday or something, if someone's saying something nice about me, I'm just going to do this the whole time.
I just felt like those words were all too big for him. Like he's still back on that map of Africa and he doesn't know where the countries are. He doesn't know who the tribes are. He doesn't know who the people are. He's hearing words and it's so far over his head. He's probably like, oh yeah, this is going to get explained to me later. Cool. I have no idea what you're talking about. I just don't. I don't think so.
The guy's also like likely just not doing well. Like I don't know if you saw that clip of him falling down the other day. He's also like,
was that real? Has that been determined to be real? Because I couldn't. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I'm assuming
between you and I, Ellie, we're getting a lot of rumors out there today. I think it was real.
Ellie never got another phone call.
No, Ellie is gonna get more phone calls. No, this goes back to that whole thing about the map, though, right? Like I worry about saying something incorrectly on here on Substack for one of these sessions, and like they don't care about just putting up a fake map of Africa. But yeah, I think that the bottom line is he called Joe Biden Sleepy Joe for how long? And he's still calling him Sleepy Joe. And this guy can't even stay awake when somebody is just pouring the praise onto him next to him.
Well, gang, we're just everyone head over to soulmate.vote to vote. Ellie, who's your pick?
I am biased. I mean, I don't know if you saw my little dance party video from this week, but like I was so excited when they
that was very adorable.
I was so excited when they pushed the vote because I mean, Todd Blanche is this incredible hump in the way of finding survivor justice in the Epstein files. And, you know, Katie Fang's the federal judge on behalf of Katie Fang's lawsuit this week required Todd Blanche to provide reasoning for at least 10 pages of redactions. All of them were just ridiculous, didn't even really correspond to the pages that they were talking about. And so he's just, I apologize, he's a shit show. And I just want him to not, I know there's probably somebody behind him who's just as bad, but he should not be Attorney General of the United States. So he is my pick for today.
Ellie,
why did you apologize?
There's always a bad person lined up behind them. There's real value on running out the clock with these guys, though. Like they only have so long, and making sure that they keep turning over who might be running these departments and what kind of authority they have, and even keeping them in these, situations where they're in committee and whatnot is valuable. Is valuable. Like we do have term limits in this country, and so running out the clock is really valuable. All right, so Todd Blanche is your vote, Maritza.
Yes.
I don't know.
Who you got?
I don't have a. I just don't have I don't know. How do you pick from this group? I think, I'm gonna say Pete Hegseth because here's the deal. Like, you're gonna just talk about how great this is. Oh, you've done such a great job. Literally, Donald Trump has said he's ended this war how many times now? Like 73 times he's ended this. It's not ended. And that Pete Hegseth is just gonna go out there and be like, yeah, well, he's so courageous. This has been so great. The Strait of Hormuz is, closed. And all of us are paying higher gas prices. And we killed an entire school full of girls at the very start of this without any accountability still for that. But this has been really great. Oh, and also you have, decided that certain service members who were killed in this war aren't going to be counted on the official list, but you've been so brave. I'm going to give it to Pete Hegseth.
All right. Well, we're going to have a well-rounded group of nominees because I got to give it to Sean Hannity. I think Ellie's right. I think Sean should be the first winner of like the Peg Me Daddy award, not the soulmate award. That was crazy work by Sean Hannity, who's always been an insane suck up. But yeah, that was over the top. Reimagining heaven as like, you know, Trump's like gross like 1980s golden playground is so fucking over the top. So he's got my award. But let me close out voting. I projected this was going to be the closest race we've had yet, and I was correct. I'm closing voting now. All right.
You have so much power.
Yeah, a lot. It goes to my head. I've been
like wait till Sean Hannity gets one vote up and then
like you're cooking the books here. I'm already gonna claim a rigged election.
So Sean Hannity, totally unrelated to everything you all just said. Sean Hannity is the winner at 42.2%. Todd Slush Fund Blanche right behind him at 41%, and Pete Hegseth with a mere 17%.
I've got to be more convincing. I'll work on that.
Oh no, you did better. Mine wasn't as good. Like I'm at 16.9%. You guys, this wasn't that close.
I'm a man of the people, guys. I can't help it. This is just what I do. I'm just deeply connected to the Defiance. Right. We've really synced up.
Every time I hear slush fund, I want to go get a Coke slushie.
You know what was the one that was missing from this list that definitely earned a spot? I don't know if you guys saw the clip of the 3 like would-be judges refusing to say Biden won the election, and they would only say that Biden was certified the winner. That was a crazy clip too. And I forget, who's interviewing them? Blumenthal? Who was the
there were a couple. Ossoff was in one of them. There were a couple, but like Jay Clayton was like, he was certified.
This is disqualifying. This is disqualifying. Mm-hmm. You know, it in and of itself. If you're going to be an impartial judge and you can't say against mounting like mountains of evidence in 60 plus settled court cases who's won, you don't qualify for the job. What are you gonna say, Ellie? It's getting you.
I was just gonna say, I hope by the end of my life, I get to hear or figure out. Maybe I will ask God, like, what did he hold over all of these people who are wearing like giant pairs of shoes and who are painting heaven as like, what did Trump hold over all of them to just kill their futures and kill their careers and kill their reputations? Like, what was the thing? Because I'm just at a loss why these people have just like broken their spines in half and given away everything that, I mean, I disagree with a lot of people, but a lot of these people come at this from like political careers and like law careers and knew the Constitution and you know, and like what was so important or threatening or what that they all gave everything away. I just want to know.
Right. Yeah, I think it speaks to like when you're in those positions, the level of ambition those people have to even climb to those positions in the first place as like their animating force, not their ideology, not XYZ. Like you are picking yourself so many times in life. We were talking yesterday about why there's not more ethical billionaires. And I was like, well, if you're a billionaire, that means you said $100 million isn't enough money, right? Like you're already
I know.
Like
you have to be a certain type of person. Right. Yeah. That's the thing where they say like statistically sociopaths lean into finance, politics, and Hollywood. Like it doesn't mean you have to be a sociopath to be a billionaire, but likely you're going to be one to continue to like push that and not give your money away. Like you have to be a certain kind of person to where like all of us are probably not going to end up in politics, you know, giving away our family in order to be a Stephen Miller, because like we're not cut from that moral cloth in the beginning. Like we just aren't that kind of a person. But it is objectively very weird to watch people just beat themselves in the side of the head for somebody who's 80 years old and covered in bruises and falling asleep. You know what I mean? It just doesn't.
Especially when so many of them are on camera from 2016.
Right.
saying, comparing him to Hitler, like Lindsey Graham, and saying if we vote for him, we're gonna deserve everything we get. I think Marco Rubio said that. Like, they all said this, and then some of them again said it on January 7th, 2021. After J6, and said, no, this is the line, and then they go back for more. But I think that to kind of circle back to Fauci for a second, as you were talking, Xander, I mean, so much of this fealty is about keeping that power and staying relevant and keeping the power and climbing, right? If Dr. Fauci really was so power hungry, he would have done whatever the president wanted him to do, because that seems to be the key to power here in this country right now, is to just say, yes, sir, yes, Mr. President, whatever you say. And that's how you stay in power, because look what's happened. It's all incredible to me. I agree with you, Ellie. Like, what does he have on them?
Well, Ellie, I want to thank you for being our third partner here on this fun ride. Before we let you go, it's been a huge week when it comes to the Epstein files, and so I just wanted to get your 2 cents on just like coming in and out of it. We came into this week, maybe we get a confirmation with Blanche. We had this big press conference with the survivors. They were on the Hill. Like, I just want to get your 2 cents on kind of everything that's unfolded this last week and where your head's at.
I think the two things that I've really been focusing on is Katie Fang's lawsuit. I mean, that's so vitally important. It has so much to do with Todd Blanche. It has so much to do, like I cannot scream into the darkness how easy it is to prove that the Epstein Files Transparency Act is violated on almost every single page in those files. Like, it's so obvious. And then even the documents, they picked 10, right? They picked 10 and they said, we're going to give these to the federal judge. We're going to go behind cameras. Katie's not allowed to be in there, but I need you to bring these in unredacted and explain what the redactions are for. And the explanation of every page, and I'm going to post this later so it makes better sense, but like, doesn't have anything to do with like half the redactions in there. He'll be like, oh, we're covering up an FBI agent's email address. And it's like, yeah, but you covered up like 10 co-conspirators in the email. That's what we're talking about. So that is really, really important, because if that federal judge does his job, and I think it's a male judge, sorry, I'm assuming that's terrible, but they will obviously look at that and be like, this is ridiculous, because I can do it without any sort of federal judging background, and I can look at it and go, this is ridiculous. So that is one of the things that I'm focusing on. But the second thing on is the Interlochen Music Camp out of Michigan is sort of coming back to the fore. And I have been dumping a whole bunch of things into a computer file to go through all of this. But that is a vitally important case that not only affects the Epstein files, not only affects the actual camp itself, because it is that investigation is pretty damning to the camp as far as what wasn't done, but it also includes victims that were taken to Donald Trump, which were, again, very young teenagers. These were not 17-year-olds. These were 13-year-olds. And so that is yet another case. Now I can think of 3 off the top of my head that involve a young teenager brought to Donald Trump that we are missing files from in this investigation that we don't have, that are being hidden by the DOJ. So those are kind of my 2 main focuses right now, that I think are going to become more important in the next few weeks. And that is what I'm working on. But I'm all in Katie Fang right now.
Right on. Right on. Thank you, Ellie. Thank you for joining us, but also thank you for all the work along with Katie, along with the other kind of great champions of this, of getting to the truth and getting to justice on this issue. You've played such a pivotal role in this really important conversation we're having as a nation. Go ahead, Maritza. You were going to say something. I cut you off.
Oh, I was just going to say that. Yeah, I mean, to be able to call Ellie and Katie both friends, and to be able to like sit here and cheer them on and see the incredible movement that they are making here, and continuing to shed light on this, and to not just say, okay, yeah, we'll forget about this, we'll let this go away. It is so incredible, and it highlights these moments of hope and joy during this time period that feels hard and dark in many times. But to just be able to say, like, no, there are people who are not going to let this go away or be, swept under the rug. And I'm so glad that you're here with us, Ellie, and that you're doing the work you're doing. Like, we are all better for it.
Ellie, where can people find you before you get out of here?
You can find me on the Panicked Writer. You can find me maybe driving the mobile reading room. I don't know.
wait.
Sure, it's covered.
Hold on. Could we do like a road trip thing? Like
I want to.
We should definitely set up the road trip as like buddy cop movies, like a sequence of buddy cop movies.
Yes, we could make our own little reality show of driving the bus across country. That'd be so
we could do this.
Thomas Massey to driving a lake, just get all the buddy
going to McDonald's.
That sounds great. But the Panic Writer on Substack is the name of your. All right, fantastic. Thank you, Ellie, so much.
Yeah, I'm on YouTube, and I am back at work. I'm home from vacation, so
boo.
Vacation
meant she was by me in Montana. So now she's not by me, so that's a big bummer. But I'm glad you're back at work because we need your work, Ellie. We appreciate you so much.
All right, I'll see you guys later.
See ya. All right. Well, to close it out, we've got promotions on the Anthill that we're going to bring up. Reminder: Defiance is a club. We're not, just another media company. We are a club for the courageous where we subscribe, we put our money together, we go fund awesome actions that are fighting back against fascism, and we take action together. That is what this is. If you're listening to this, you are likely a club member. If you're not, subscribe. I'm supposed to say subscribe a lot because something happens on YouTube. It flashes when I say subscribe. And then we, hi gang. My cleaners just got here. Hey, crew.
Also, is that your dog?
Surprise guest. I'll bring in the cleaners. Yeah, I've got the dog.
Oh, that's why your dog is barking because the cleaners are there.
I think this is the version of like my version of when the Oscars play you off the stage, like you're at time.
It's time. Wrap it up.
All right. Rapid fire, my guys. Well, there we go. There's our promotion. Achieving the rank of Scout. We've got Kelly B. We've got Ted D. We've got Mike H. And we've got Carmen. And look at that forgery. Our friend Glenn Kirshner, the incredible Glenn Kirshner, with his you get the rank of forger at 5 referrals. So Glenn Kirshner making the rank of forger. Welcome. Congrats on your promotion. I'm sure he's going to make this just his avatar on Substack moving forward.
100%. Can I just say, I love Glenn Kirshner so much. He is seriously
he's the man.
One of my favorite people. I always learn so much, and he's funny and he's kind, and I'm always surprised by something I learned from him. He's just wonderful.
So reminder, gang, to grow the club, go to defiance.news/leaderboard to get your referral code. Send it out to someone and achieve the rank of Scout if you haven't yet. Keep getting promoted, and like really more seriously, grow this club. We are trying to fight back against fascism. We are replacing the absent billionaires that have run away from this fight as a movement. And so, come join. Come kick ass. Get others to join kick ass as well. All right, gang. Breaking news. Right before, what a great way to end Friday. Breaking news. DOJ is dropping the case against the Olympian right now. Let's go. Another MAGA loss right as we're going off the air.
Oh, yeah. Well, that was a good thing they didn't hear Ellie say he was canoeing in the reflecting pool because they might not have dropped it.
They would have had a new eyewitness.
I really like that visual is hilarious too. But that's big news. I wonder why. It's so crazy because Janine Pirro said we were going to see all the evidence of that huge felony he committed. I wonder why they would drop the case if they had all that evidence.
Yeah. Any day, all that evidence is going to drop. All the evidence across all the different issues. Well, that's it, gang. Until next time, stay loud, stay brave, and stay together. See you Monday.